Okay, so this is a little demo to help those of you who you might be struggling with editing because of your computer may not be powerful enough, and the video clips you're using could be either too high resolution for your computer or for your hard drive, or the wrong kind of codec. A codec which means your computer has to process more than it should do. So okay, so I've got a little sequence here. So this is just something that I put together to demonstrate this. So there's a little sequence here. Here are the brushes in the bin there, and here they are in my folder here. So I've got my project and my brushes, and the same in my Premiere project here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transcode these to the best possible codec and resolution for trouble-free editing. So I'm going to go ahead here and select my brushes, and I'm going to export them. So that's File, Export, Media. Now when I do that, it's going to open Adobe Media Encoder. Here it is. And I'm going to select QuickTime. Going to select ProRes Proxy, which is the lightest of the ProRes codecs. Now, at the moment, it's 1920 over 1080. So I'm going to knock that down to 720. So just in here, I'll put 720 in. Let me undo that a second. Go back to 1080. Right, I need to have this thing selected. This means that when I change one, they both change. So 720. Now I've knocked it down to 1280 over 720. So I've changed the codec to ProRes Proxy, changed the resolution, and I'm going to click Q. And it's doing its thing, and that will open up into Adobe Media Encoder. We can see those three clips just here. And final thing I'm going to do is going to tell it where to save them. So I'm going to select all, click on the output file location here, go to my hard drive, and I've got my brushes folder. That's my original brushes folder, so I'm going to make a new folder called Proxies. And select that. So our original files are, I think they're ProRes 422, now they're Proxy, they're lower resolution. I'm going to click Encode. Right, so leave that doing its thing, and we can see in our Proxy folder here, oh, it's finished them already. So you can see the file size difference. If I look at this first file in the brushes folder here, it's 90 megabytes. In the Proxy folder, it's 14 megabytes. So it's a lot smaller and a lot easier to use. Okay, so now going back to Premiere, this is still looking at the high resolution or the problematic files. So now I'm just going to go ahead to my brushes again, select them, right click, and click Make Offline. And click OK here, and now you can see everything is offline. So go back to my brushes again with them all selected, right click, Link Media. These are the files I'm trying to change, and now I'm going to connect them to the proxies. So with the first one selected, I'll hit Locate. They're in here. Here's my proxies, and we're looking for this CO15101. It's this one here. So I'll select that, and you'll find all the other files. Okay, we are now working, and just to confirm that, I'm going to right click on this, reveal in Finder, and it's working for my proxies. So that should hopefully enable you to edit much more easily. And when you've finished editing, if you want to, you can go through the same process. You can unlink and then relink back to your original camera files. One thing you probably just want to make sure of is you're scaling correctly. So just right clicking on one of these, scale to frame size, that's what you want just there. And sequence settings. The sequence settings are still 1920 over 1080. That's fine, just leave it as that. Okay, if you wanted to be uber about it, you could go down to 720p, the same as these, but I don't think it's going to make much difference. So that is how to transcode your footage into proxies with a pre-existing project, unlink the original files, relink to your proxies, and hopefully you'll have a much easier time with your editing.